This is Caesar, a martial artist, photographer, and a dad. Whoosh! Good afternoon, good morning, good evening to each and everyone. I am back, and this is the second lockdown in UK, so things is a bit not so good at the moment, but you have to move on. Let's go and move on and enjoy life as it is. As they say, this is the new normal. Say hi to each and everyone. Say hi to all my subscribers. Thank you very much to all my subscribers. To my family, to my wife Mayette, and to my two kids Abby and Audrey. Thank you for your support and everything that you've helped me with the basement and the studio slash bar slash gym and slash studio. Also, we're gonna talk about today a combination of photojournalism and human interest. I chose these two fields in one place for the reason that it coexists with each other. As to differentiate the two, based on Wikipedia, human interest is a journalism, a human interest story. It's a feature story of discussions of a person, people, or pet or emotions way, in presenting the people their problems and concerns or achievements in a way that brings about the interest, sympathy, motivation to the reader of the viewer. Again, that's from Wikipedia. Then there's photojournalism. Maybe I'll explain it later. We start with human interest. There are a few photos I'm going to explain why I took it, how I took it, how I capture every moment of it. The first one you will see on the other side of the screen, or maybe on the side of the screen, the examples of photos, whichever side it is. Title, Going Home. Camera I used for this is a Canon T80, which I remember is my cousin's, Kuya Charlie's camera. He let me borrow it to play and learn a lot more about manual settings and everything. The film I use here is Kodak black and white, ISO 400. And I took this photo and gave a title of Going Home while I was taking pictures around the garden, practicing my photos and everything. I saw my aunt and my two nephews going home, so I saw them. I know that there's something I have to capture on their faces, whether they're happy or not. Well, the moment I saw them, I posted my photo there and my camera and reached for my lens and everything, and I took it actually by surprise. So their expression was like, it's like, what happened? Why I took our photos? But I could see that there is something, a story that says to it all. With regards to giving titles, I add also, in photojournalism and human interest, one thing I learned a lot from my cousins, Kuya Buchid, Alex De La Rosa is, and his dad is, and other photojournalists that I met and be friends with, that the shorter the title, 3 to 4 words to 5 words or less is much better. The better the capture of the photos that will be viewed by the people. Once they see the title, they already have the idea. Using only 3 to 4 words, they already have an idea what's inside the photo, the story within it, which is also same as photojournalism and other fields of photography, especially when you're competing. This also photos reminds me of how a family of a normal, ordinary family is. It tells a lot of stories about humanity itself, on my perception when I took this photo. The second one is another title with this, near to the image itself, is The Boy in the Window. The Boy in the Window is actually a concept when I brought my camera to school, because back then I was teaching primary school around 5 years, and I loved to bring my camera to capture photos of everything I could see on the road, at school, at work. And I saw one of my students, while I was cleaning and tidying my camera, I saw him looking into the side of the window. The moment he noticed me, before the moment he noticed me, I took the photos and captured this image. So it coincides, as you could see, is the boy in the window, a simple, basic, and yet it grabs the story of something about this boy looking in the window. If I'm not mistaken, that was my first ever bought camera. It's my own personal bought, the Nikon F60 with the 20-200 camera, which I bought it from my cousin Kuya Charlie. You will notice most of my images are from the past, film photos or film cameras, because at that time digital was just a start of its birth, so most likely it's too expensive or very rare to find a cheaper digital camera at that time. Another one of this image that I also took as I consider a human interest. Maybe for some might be something that they don't care about, but for me, the third image would be, the title of it is Whose Crab Wins. Actually, normally Filipino culture, we play around with the spiders. We let them, like a chicken fight, cockfighting, something like that. We also play with spiders growing up as kids. So this is a very rare thing when I found out that two of my nephews were playing around with two crabs and trying to fight with them out, whoever wins. So I was using my first, when I came back, this was 2010 if I'm not mistaken, or 2010, yeah, I was mistaken. Went home, saw my two nephews playing around with these two crabs. So I managed to capture their expression. Although they could see only their eyes, you could see they're waiting for something to happen with regards to the two crabs. So I used my first Nikon, my second or my third Nikon D300 and my 70-200 2.8 Sigma. So I captured it quite far so they could not notice me, so it will look natural and very relaxed. So you know how my human interest is captured. You will see more photos coming out at the back of this interview, this video. Just try to finish the whole video and see more of my sample photos. It's a mix of film and digital before around 1997-98 through present. Another field that I'm talking about, it coincides with human interest, is photojournalism. In Wiki expression, Wikipedia description is, photojournalism is a particular form of your journalism that employs images in order to tell news, stories, and usually understood to refer to still images, but in some cases terms also refers to video used in broadcast journalism. Again, that's from Wikipedia, but normally, basically, photojournalism, for us who done it, learn from it, photojournalism is about capturing moments, time, expression, and events that happening in the history. More likely, that's how it's not likely, it's more likely for others would look at it as documentary, but it's more of the capturing events that is happening and later on will be part of history. For me, that is how I see photojournalism. In this image with regards to photojournalism, this one, when I captured this one, the title is Peaceful Rally. When I captured this, I was going down to the train transit when I noticed two sides of the event. One, people walking peacefully on a rally, and the other side is the military. And this one military guy standing in front of it. So I saw an image of a story that this is the two sides of what's the word right now. So I took picture of it with my Nikon F60, my 20-200 to wider it to make it 20-8, and I captured it with a film. If I'm not mistaken, it was a Fuji ISO 400, and it went all to these images went to my local newspaper back in Zambales. So yeah, these are the samples I did, and I managed to capture that. I know for sure I am expressing how an idea of how things work into the versions of a rally or a expression of speech. The second image in photojournalism is I titled it The Last Wave. Actually, I was just be asked by my cousin to go with him and learn from him because I was an apprentice to him. And he said to me, he let me use his 300 mil, and I was told to wait, just wait on this side of, and wait for that moment. When they say wait for that moment, try not to wait for it, but just feel how it works. You know that moment will come when you can feel that this is the right moment. This last wave was the last wave of the former president of the Philippines, former President Joseph Ejercito Estrada, or we call him ERAP. This was the last wave before he was removed from Malacanang and be kicked out as a president of the Philippines. So it was a national prayer, and he was the guest of honor, and he gave this long wave. And I took the photo, and it went to the local papers and back in Zambales, or my province where I was based. And yeah, suddenly weeks later, a month later, there was another EDSA 2, which is the EDSA Revolution 2, which did happen. So if you notice, that's how we feel and capture history as it happens. Although you wouldn't know that it will be a part of history, it might not be or might be not. The third image that I'm gonna talk about is, for me, this would be something unique in a way, because this photo, if I'm not mistaken, it was a celebration for the kick out of the former president to a new president, which was the GMA, Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was the next president, which I titled it The Big Four. Of these four people inside of this image are former presidents and one cardinal priest, which is been part of the first EDSA revolution. See, they all passed away already. One in the blue is the former president Fidel B. Ramos. One in yellow with the black pants is the former first president that made history, is Corazon Cory Aquino, our former president. It was in 1986, the first EDSA. And the one who replaced him was the one also in yellow, the small lady, is GMA, former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, and the late Cardinal Sin. Three of them already passed away, or four of them on this image are already passed away. Not the other president, but two of the president, one priest, and another senator. So for me, this is something not everybody had on that time. I'm not sure whether maybe a lot of photojournalists that time took photos of it, but for me, I'll treasure this one as this is already an history, a part of a history that happened that time. So I'm pretty sure it will capture the imagination of everyone. How hard it is, it was a lot of more than 10,000 people. You'll see one of my images where it is in one area that you could see there's so much people there, and we have to dig in, be inside, and capture this one moment in time that may never happen again. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen again because their soul is already in peace. So these are the examples that I'm talking about. Human interest and photojournalism. You're going to ask me how it felt. It was great. But at that time, it was scary because there are photos you're gonna see. You're in the middle of a fight, you're in the middle of a riot, you're in the middle of what's gonna happen. What I was fortunate to be trained by great photojournalists. Few friends of ours, like Bro Sunny Spirito, is what I consider him is the top-notch photojournalist too. He is a award-winning photojournalist, fashion photographer too, and a few, I would say, people that have great respect. We all give respect to in photojournalism, like Sir Elvin Tuyay, former Malacanang president, official photographer, my good friend, kumpare, Rene Pampolina, and A few friends from the Associated Press like Aaron Fabila, sila Sir Bullet Marquez. Those are the people Eric De Castro from Reuters, and Sir Bobby Ronoco. Those are the people I still remember. Their names, I hope they still remember me. And those are the people that I learned for so many years, being with them, shooting photos with them, being in the middle of rallies, riots. Even if there was a shooting, you'll be there in the middle. You get used to it. It's exciting, exhilarating, something that I also miss back home, but things are much different now, and especially the case of COVID and pandemic, so there's quite a lot of different things. Again, before I finish this one, I would like to thank each and every one again that you've given me a chance to watch again. I hope you enjoyed my last one with Sensei Darren Hollis of the Ryukan Matsuri Stevenage interview. Another famous photographer, Mr. David Toby. I hope you also enjoy it. So I'm hoping that you're gonna enjoy this one, and at the same time, hopefully appreciate the field that I always started, and where I have my first love in photography, which is photojournalism and human interest. Again, this is Cesar, a martial artist, photographer, and a dad. Thank you. Good day.